So this week I need to read a bunch of books, or at least attempt to read a bunch of books for book clubs, and also library books that are probably going to need to go back and not be able to renew because they're pretty new releases. So I'm going to be attempting to read this week, and I have no audiobooks for any of these, so I don't know if that's going to happen because I have to physically read with my eyeballs all of these. But some of them are pretty quick reads, so we'll see. I have Matchmaking for Psychopaths. One's a library book that's going to be due back on the 27th or 28th, I believe. Also due back this week is The Compound. I know both these probably have holds on them because they're fairly new. How to Survive a Horror Story. I want to read for Gabby's book club, The Troop. For Literally Dead book club, I want to read the Stephen Graham Jones double bind up. And for my in-person book club, this is actually the first one I need to read. It is Wednesday and it's now Monday, is The Enchanted Greenhouse. Also, Sarah Beth Durst is coming to my library in a couple of weeks or less than that. And so I want to make sure I get this read. And also I wouldn't mind getting this read as well, but I do at least partly. I also started We Ride Upon Sticks on an audio. So lots of things going on. We'll see how the week goes. We'll see what I get done. We'll see what I vlog. And yeah, so I think these are the books I'm going to try and get read. See, also, I think The Thrashers might be due back soon too. And this one will be pretty quick. But I also know, I think I could read this on KU. So if it doesn't get read, it doesn't get read. I need to update you on Enchanted Greenhouse. So I made it to page 114 and I'm really liking this so far. It's super cute. I mean, I expected it to be super cute and I expected to like it since it's Sarah Beth Durst and I've read a bit of her works before. I did read the one previous to this. What was that one? The Spell Shop. And then I have also read her Queen of Blood series and I think that's it. But I also own a few for other ones. So it comes together very nicely for me. It's cute. I care enough. I'm not bored. With some cozy fantasy, I definitely can get a bit bored, but at least with these ones, I don't seem to. I seem to enjoy them. I love the characters so far. So in this book, you have Turlu, and she is actually the librarian that you hear about in the first book, but other than that, they're not really connected. And she's the librarian that created the sentient plant Kaz, and in this world, you're not supposed to do magic unless you're a sorcerer. And so she actually gets punished and turned into a statue that sits in front of the library as a warning to all librarians that they shouldn't do magic, and if they do, this could happen to them. And then sometime later, she wakes up and is not a statue anymore. She doesn't know how much time has passed, but she's in this wintry place, and she doesn't know who changed her back. There's this greenhouse in front of her, so she goes into the greenhouse to get warm, and she meets a guy who acts as the gardener named Yarrow, and he's really quiet and secluded because he's the only one on this island, and it's about how they get to know each other. And then also this greenhouse has enormously gigantic greenhouse, and it used to be run by a sorcerer, but the sorcerer passed away, so now there is no sorcerer running the greenhouse, and there's some rooms that are slowly dying away, and Nero wanted to save it, so he asked the Empire for a new sorcerer to help him because he's not a sorcerer, he's a gardener. And they sent someone did, to find out who it was in the book, even though she's not a sorcerer. So he's like, oh man, like this is not what I needed. It's them trying to uncover all the secrets of this sorcerer so that they can save the greenhouse. And there's also a sentient rose in here, which is really cool, because otherwise I think everyone would have missed, a sentient plant in this book. And also is a kitty, which I think his name is Emerald, and he's a flying kitty. He has wings, so that's pretty neat. And I'm really liking this so far. It's super cute. The main character, the reason that she made the spider plant sentient in the first place in the library was that she was lonely because she was in the library and she was all by herself a lot of the time, and she didn't have anyone to talk to. She wanted someone to talk to. And then in this situation, she's on this island with, as far as we know so far, one person. And so she only has him to talk to, and he likes being secluded and alone, as far as we know. And she's talking his ear off. So it's kind of a grumpy sunshine, but he's not really grumpy. He's just, he's quiet and secluded life that he lives. He maybe doesn't want that to change, but maybe he does. I don't know. but I'm liking them so far. I think they're cute. I would like to get another good chunk of this finished today, like 60 pages today so far, and I read the other 60 yesterday. I went running today, got the kids off to school, went running, and then my runs are getting kind of long, just my midweek runs, so 5 to 6 miles. So I ran 5 miles today, and I went grocery shopping. Morning, came back, unpacked all the groceries, showered, ate some breakfast, and read for a bit. And now I am ready to read for a bit again. That has been my day so far today. It is Tuesday. I'm really trying to get all these books read by Friday or Sunday. Probably Sunday. There's no way I'm going to get them read by Friday. Even for me, that would be a lot of books. I'll show you what I got at the library. First, I'll show you my puppies. They're so snuggly, so sweet. Look at them. They're so snuggly. And I was sitting there. Library. I picked up Six of Crows because I didn't have a copy of this, and I have not read it yet. And it was at the library. They have shelves of books that people donate for $1. So I got that for $1. I picked up Kite Runner also for $1 because this is the book for one of my in-person book clubs. It's a band book club. So this is our book for October. So I picked that up for $1. And then they also had Crooked Kingdom. So I picked up that for $1 as well. So those were a steal. And then I had a hold on Human Rights by Juno Dawson. And that is a book in a series. I forget what the series is called. Oh, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. So yeah, it's just after the first book. It's a third book in that series. I think it's the last book, as far as I know. I think it's just a trilogy. Yeah, it says it's just a trilogy. So I sadly missed out on the Fairy Loot pre-order. And I'm sad about that because I have the other two. And I meant to, I had it in a cart and I went to log out, but then the children interrupted me. And anyways, I picked up Rebecca because I do want to try to read this, and it's a classic. So I don't know if it'll happen this month. Oh look, someone put a little thing in here. I wonder what it says. Blah, blah, blah. No, that doesn't sound very interesting. But anyways, that is what I grabbed at the library. This is so sweet. Oh boy, I think I'm talking to her. See? Boy. Anyway, the main male character, Yarrow, he cooks all these sorts of things from the gardens and the greenhouses, and he's just an amazing cook. And our female main character is like, "You are a wonder." I like this quote. She says, "You are a wonder." Huh? Me? It occurred to her that it was possible no one had ever admired this man, seen him as more than a son, brother, cousin, nephew, the one who stayed behind. She wondered if he had any inkling of how special he was to devote his life to the care of living things who, with the possible exception of the sentient plant, who had been asleep, could never really care for her in return. Oh, so sweet. I'm actually really liking this. I've laughed out loud several times. It's very sweet, but not boring, in my opinion. And then this one, poor Lottie. I think she's tougher than she looks, Yarrow said. Like you. Turlu barked a laugh. I'm the least tough person I know. I'm so noble to handle being a little bit lonely that I broke imperial law. It's so cute. All right, it is very dark in here, so I have my camera light on, but now it kind of seems bright. But oh well, that's what we're working with. It is a rainy day out today, which is actually kind of nice. It's like not really chilly. Unfortunately, it's pretty humid and warm out, but it is dreary, which I like. I decided not to put my contacts on today since today is a rest day. I ran 5 yesterday, 5 Monday, 6 on Sunday, so I decided to take today off, definitely. So yeah, I finished this morning. I absolutely love this. I'm going to give it 5 stars. And there's enough going on in it where I didn't get bored. And every time I kind of got bored with something that was happening, it got changed up, or we met someone new, or there was another problem to solve. So I really liked it. This is essentially also about friendship and forgiveness and love. And yeah, I really liked it. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, you know, giving people a break. And I'm excited. So I'm going to start this one next because it is due back in the library and there are holds on it. So I need to finish this by Saturday, and it is now Wednesday. So I got to get going on that. I don't know what that was. I did decide to return the Thrashers to the library, I think, because I can read that on KU, and that's also due on Saturday. And I have other things I'd like to read before I read that. And there are some quotes in here that I just wanted to share that I liked. Let me see if I can find them. You lost everything, unfairly punished. You're terrified it will happen again, and you still open your arms to everyone. How? And she says, I suppose I chose to think it will be okay, because then at least, even if I can't control what happens, I can control how I feel about it. You just choose? Trilu thought about this. Yes, I'm not made like that. I liked that. Quote on page 204, it says, Yara shifted in his sleep, curling around her. His breath warmed the back of her neck. She felt like she fit within his arms, like a book properly shelved. And then there's this other part which I can't find where Yarrow, what's his name again? Oh, no. Turlu, there's another part where Turlu tells Yarrow that he can be angry. He doesn't need permission to be angry, and it doesn't matter why. He could still be angry without having a good reason. Or it was an interesting thing for her to say to him, and I always appreciate when characters can teach other characters some emotional intelligence. So I did enjoy that. And I'm going to put this one down now and start up with this one. Hi, I'm in the car now. I am at my son's rock climbing gym again, and I'm just sitting in the car while he climbs and reading some. And it's the perfect weather outside for it. Not too hot, not too cold and cloudy, so the car's not getting too hot. I am about 50-ish pages into Matchmaking for Psychopaths. I'm on chapter 6. So essentially this book is about a woman named Alexis, or Alexandria, I think her name is. Alexandra, yeah. And in the beginning of the book, it's her birthday and she goes on a birthday date. She thinks it's going to be a surprise party, and it ends up that it's her fiance and her best friend telling her that they're in love with each other and that he's leaving her. So that's how the book opens up. Her job is she works for a matchmaking company that is, just like the book title says, she is a matchmaker for psychopaths. So she takes on all the clients who are high on this, I guess, some kind of psychopath intake form. And there's something about her past that we don't know exactly what happened yet, but her mother is incarcerated, and I'm assuming her father is either incarcerated or dead. We don't know yet, and I'm assuming they're psychopaths and something happened, but we don't know what that is yet. On the jacket that her personal and professional lives kind of get intertwined and other things happen. So I'm liking it so far. It has some humor to it. She's not a very likable protagonist so far, so we'll see where it goes. Maybe she takes after her parents, I don't know. But I'm liking it. We'll see where it goes. This is due back on Saturday and it's Wednesday, so I gotta get going. I'll definitely be able to finish it, but I'm hoping to get it done tomorrow. And I'm about to hop on sprints with Allie because she's doing some Patreon sprints, so that's exciting. And I am drinking a Monster, just like Allie, which is probably a poor decision since it's almost 6 p.m., but I've been sipping on it for like an hour. Anyway. Day. I just got out of the shower because I went to go run and then it started downpouring on me, and I decided to do an afternoon run because this morning I stubbed all my toes on my left foot so bad that I swore like a sailor. I had to ice them for an hour. They're still sore, but as long as I don't go up on my toes or flex my toes, they seem okay. So hopefully they're not broken. I don't think they are, but if they are, there's not much you can do about broken toes, so whatever. I've got Timmy here. I love Timmy, but this is how I'm feeling about that. And my run went okay. I ran 4 miles, but I got soaked and I had to slosh around in my shoes for the last mile or so. And I have about 10 minutes before the kids get home because I procrastinated on my run today, but I did read a bunch this morning. So I need to run to the library and return this. I finished Matchmaking for Psychos and I'm giving it a 2. I did not like this. Sadly, the premise is something that I could really get behind. I love a campy, weird comedy, horror mashup combo. I love a psychopath. I put that in quotes because, you know, the actual clinical definition of sociopaths, psychopaths, you know, take that with a grain of salt when it comes to this book. Very not serious, you know. What did I not like? Why didn't I like this book? Right away, within the first 50 pages, I could tell I didn't like the writing style. I should have known. I should have stopped reading because I was not clicking with the writing style. My mind kept wandering, and I thought, oh, maybe it's just me. I'll keep reading. I kept reading. It didn't get any better. My mind just was like, did not like the writing style. It was not clicking with me. The main character, Lexi, she comes off as a sociopath as well. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but that is how she came off to me within the first 50 pages. And I can get behind reading a book from the point of view of someone who seems like they're uncaring, you know, removed from how everybody else kind of feels. I've read books from serial killers' perspectives before and really liked them. This, she was just obnoxious and I didn't like her. I didn't find anything fun about really her character at all. She's obsessed with reality TV. I could get behind a character that's obsessed with reality TV. She does name some Vanderpump Rules in here. I don't know if there's another one, but that she mentions by name, so there is some pop culture references. That in itself wouldn't bother me, but with everything else, the writing style that I didn't like, the humor wasn't my kind of humor. She's also obsessed with rom-coms. And I think all that together with the fact that none of the relationships in here really got developed, which I understand considering who we're reading from. Thing was really developed and I did not care. I would say the last 50 pages I was like, please, like I just want to know know why and what happens and what the mystery. I wanted to solve the mystery of who sent her this heart in the mail. And we know that she is at her own wedding. It's like in the prologue or whatever, 4 months after the main events of this book. So wanted to know what happened there, but I kind of guessed somewhat the twists of this. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the twists could have been fun, but I think with everything else that I didn't like about the book, sadly, it was a 2 for me. I think some people will like it if you connect with the writing a little better and the humor, but it just didn't work for me, which was sad because there's definitely books like this, you know, with the same kind of idea that I liked, but I just didn't like the writer. But that's okay, because that means I don't have to try Love Letters for a Serial Killer, because that, I don't know, maybe I'd like that one, but at this point, I'm not gonna give it a shot. So, sorry, Tasha Coro, your books maybe just are not for me. This gets to go back to the library. I'm glad I didn't spend any money on it. And yeah, the cover for me is the best part of the book, sadly. I also just wanted to tell you real quick that I did, since I didn't have audiobooks for any of these books, I do have some Libby audiobooks that came through, so that I need to get to. It's kind of dictating what I've been reading lately, because I've gotten a lot of Libby holds that came through. So I got the Libby hold for this came through. I didn't spend any money on this either, thankfully, because a friend gave it to me after she was done with it. And honestly, I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. I like the two main characters. I thought they were interesting. I wish we got more of them. Oh, dogs are scurrying. And then the story about the older woman I thought was interesting. But again, that wasn't really developed all that well either, because you're splitting time between the relationship and this story from the past. So I don't know. I thought both of them just kind of came off as fine. So I'm going to give this a 3. I didn't think it was bad. Emily Henry, I like her writing, so it was fine. And I am also listening to Rachel Harrison's Play Nice. This I put on hold before it even came out, and my hold came through, so I started listening to this, and I'm really liking it so far. Yeah, and I love the cover. So I'm glad I spent money on this, because I actually really did like it. And I have all of Rachel Harrison's other works except for her short story collection. This so far has been really fun. It's about these sisters whose mother passes away, who they were estranged from, and they have to go back to the house, which their mother believed was haunted. It's giving Home Before Dark. It's giving Day of the Door a little bit, because they say that she was mentally ill and an alcoholic and whatnot. And you know, one of the younger sister's memories is different because she doesn't really remember a lot from that time because she was young, but the older sisters are like, no, mom was just abusive and an alcoholic, and you don't need to go to the funeral and you don't need to go back there. So that's all been interesting. I like it. I need to be a nice mom and go get my kids from the bus stop because it's still raining, maybe. I'm gonna leave you there. My next book I need to read is Stephen Graham Jones, The Bind Up of The Serial Killer Lives, and what's the other one? Killer on the Road? Oh, Stephen Graham Jones. I need a win now. But anyways, these two I've read in this vlog already. And then I need to do this one. What else did I read? What did I read before this? Oh, Enchanted Greenhouse. I loved that. So we're doing well. But this needs to go back to the library today. So at least that's done. So I went to the library to pick up some holds. I had We Love You Bunny on hold. The first one to take this one out. So that's pretty exciting. I didn't know if our library was going to get a copy, but they did. And they got it like right away on release day, which is odd for them. Usually they are a little bit delayed. I mean, we don't live in the tiniest of towns, but we don't live in the biggest town either. I also got the Treasure Hunters Club for I think it's one of the Literally Dead book club picks for the upcoming months. And I put this on hold and it came back already. So we'll see how that one goes. I also picked up, not on hold, A Monster Calls, as this was recommended by, I believe, the Angel, the wavy haired reader. And it seemed interesting, and it's a YA horror that I think I might like. I actually returned Kill Creatures without reading it, and The Thrashers, because I've not heard great things about Kill Creatures, and if I feel like trying it later, but I've had it for a while, so I wanted to return it just in case someone wanted to pick it up. Some YA individual. And then I also picked up Gideon the Ninth. Oh, and Thrashers I have on KU, so when I feel like reading it, I have access to it whenever I want. And then I got Gideon the Ninth, because this is one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, and Allie just read it. So I thought maybe it's time, and I have the audiobook, access to the audiobook on Hoopla, but I know that people say it's good to have the physical book, so I'm excited about that. It's always been something I've been interested in reading, so maybe this will be my fantasy pick for, well, no, I did some fantasy this month, but nothing like this heavy. Well, I read Catabasis, so I guess maybe that counts. I need to read the second Realm of the Elderlings book. Which one is that? Royal Assassin? Is that which one it is? I think, maybe. So I need to get that and read that. Well, I have it, but I need to read it next month if I'm going to be on my schedule, because I said I was going to read one of those every other month and then alternate it with another heavier fantasy. And then if I start a series, to complete those series on the odd ones or the even ones or whatever. So maybe this will be the series for that opposite month. but maybe I'll start it this month instead. I don't know. Planning. I don't know, but we'll see. I need to get home. I left the kids after I dropped them off. Picked them up at the bus stop because it was raining and I was trying to be nice, but now it's much better out, so that's good. Okay, goodbye. Did my long run. I have some footage of that and I'll put it in somewhere. Whoops. I'm about to go to a restaurant and get some fried clams because I'm craving them and I ran 12 miles, so I'm gonna treat myself. I finished reading, what was I reading? I finished listening to Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I liked it. I thought it was good. Rachel Harrison. I liked it better than So Thirsty, less than Black Sheep, maybe less than Such Sharp Tea. It's good. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, lots of generational trauma, familial relationships, alcohol abusive mother. We're not sure if, you know, it was all in her head, blah, blah, blah. The usual, but done in a way that I appreciated and I enjoyed. I started the Stephen Graham Jones bind up. It's okay so far. I'm not loving it, but I'm not disliking it. I'm about halfway through, not even halfway through Killer on the Road. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it before the Literally Dead book club. I'm wearing this again today. Live show or not, but I'm gonna try. And then I also started listening to an ALC of Scald Crow, and that has similar themes to Play Nice so far. I'm not sure if it actually does. That's about a woman whose mother dies or is missing. I don't think they've ever found a body. He had a interesting relationship with her. We don't really know the details of it yet, and she's going back to the home because she needs somewhere to stay. So, you know, it's a house that she now owns and is her property, so she's going back. Nothing crazy bad has happened so far, but it does have chronic pain rep in there. I think endometriosis, I think is what she has, but I literally am in 1 chapter in, so I'm gonna be listening to that when I cannot read physically, but I really need to read physically, and I haven't worked on like any videos or anything because I have so many books that I need to like read with my eyeballs that I was trying to get done before Sunday, because I wanted to also get How to Survive a Horror Movie done so I could watch Gabby's live show live. But who knows? I mean, it's the weekend, so I mean, the chances of me being able to sit down for a live show and actually participate are questionable. So we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna go get this food and eat it before my kids get home. I'm gonna sit down and read some more. It is hot out today. It's 77 degrees and humid and gross, and it makes me sad, but it did look like fall on the trail. I'll show you some clips of that. So that was nice. I'm gonna take a video of Ellie, but she left me. Ellie, why don't you love me?
She likes it.
Piper saying hi.
She likes
Hey,
it.
Piper, this is my mama's dog. Huh, we're watching her for a while.
Beautiful girls.
It's a big girl. Big. Oh. She's getting in on that. finished Killer on the Road last night. As far as Stephen Graham Jones go, it wasn't my favorite, but I still liked it. I don't know. The whole trippy highway part of it wasn't really for me. It gave me like Jeepers Creepers vibes, but there was like a lot of more characters towards the beginning of it. So this is about a runaway who goes out on the highway and hitches, or is trying to hitch to get away from her mother. They just had a big fight. So that's what the general premise is about. And then of course there's a killer on the road, as the title says. But then she meets up with some people that she knows and her friends and her little sister. So there's more characters in it. And I didn't get that like a good Stephen Graham Jones character development. And I didn't really enjoy the story all that much the first half, but I really did enjoy the ending. The killer killed some of the characters off. I enjoyed it a little bit more. So it's okay. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I didn't quite get to a 4 for me. 3.5 seems about right. Now I have to start The Babysitter Lives and finish that because the live show for that is at 1 o'clock today. It's Saturday and it's 9 in the morning. I'm gonna lay in bed and read some, since I already did all the morning stuff that I needed to do. We'll see how this one goes. I think this one seems more up my alley, maybe, so we'll see. So I am about 100 pages into How to Survive a Horror Story. I'm liking this so far. But on to vlog like at all this weekend. The kids are around and it's hard to vlog when the family's around. We've been doing a lot of family time, and we went for a walk yesterday and other stuff, so it's just hard to do when the kids are around, you know, because if I vlog and they're around, or if I'm talking to the camera and they're around, they're just gonna literally hop in or say something ridiculous just to mess me up, because that's who they are. Anyways, I am 100 pages through this. I did finish Stephen Graham Jones bind up. I did enjoy it. I think I give it, it's hard, a 3.75, a low 4, something like that. I liked both stories. Not my favorite Stephen Graham Jones for sure, but I did enjoy them both. I think they both had great themes of, you know, these younger kids taking care of even younger kids. Taking, you know, being responsible for a younger sibling or children that they're babysitting for. And I thought The Babysitter Lives was very like mind fuckery, fever dreamy, and I usually like that, and I did enjoy it. I didn't know what was going on half the time, but that's okay. The Kill on the Road gave me Jeepers Creepers vibes, and The Babysitter Lives reminded me of Coraline a little bit. So they were both interesting. I enjoyed them both, and I'm hoping to finish this before Gabby goes live today at 3, but I do have like over 200 pages left, so I don't know how much I'll actually be able to get done today, so we shall see. All right, so now that I am in my car and there's no distractions, I want to say a few more things about Killer on the Road and The Babysitter Lives. Killer on the Road has some truly gnarly, grotesque imagery and descriptions. So if you're into that, you'll probably really like this. There's some eyeball horror in here, and there's this one scene that is truly disgusting that I think will be in my brain for a long time. So I liked what this did. I thought it was really cool. And then there's The Babysitter Lives, which is truly bizarre and haunted house, haunted place, weird alternate realities, question mark. This one definitely has some also grotesque imagery and descriptions in it that I really, really enjoyed. So like I said, I'm going to give the book as a whole a low 4, 3.75. I don't know. I wish I had vlogged it, because a lot of it has, like, I remember it, but my thoughts and feelings about it have left my brain. I'm gonna page 150 this. I need to continue to read this after my run. And then while I'm on my run, I think I'm going to listen to an ALC I have of The Scald Crow. So that is my plan for my run, and we'll see how the rest of the day goes. I really am hoping to finish How to Survive a Horror Story before the live show at 3. It's 9:31 now, so I should be able to do it, maybe. I have about 100 pages left in How to Survive a Horror Story, about a group of people who are set to, or are sent letters that they're going to inherit something from this rich horror author, and they have to come to his big castle-like gothic-y mansion and hear the reading of the will. And most of them are some sort of writers or have worked with him in the past. They find out that they're not just there for the reading of the will, they're being forced to play some sort of game with puzzles, and if they don't solve the puzzles in a certain amount of time, then the house is going to take them. And I wasn't sure if this was going in like a thriller direction or a more supernatural horror direction. I'm not going to tell you which direction it takes. I'm liking it. I really liked the first 100 pages, but I'm being thoroughly entertained. There's definitely some silly, goofy, stupid stuff in here. There's these interludes of the writer Mortimer writing these little stories about each of the characters, and I'm not finding them all that interesting. They're okay. We're getting more information about them, but he's an unreliable narrator, so are the things he's saying actually the truth, or is what they're depicting throughout the story of what happened in reality? Is that in their what they say happened, is that what really happened, or is what he wrote really happening? So there are definitely some fun scenes, like the games of it all and the logic, solve these puzzles, and them having to work together to solve these puzzles. And then, of course, some of them dying along the way. The character says a bunch of stupid little sayings. I would say equally annoying and funny. He says, well, I'll be a possum in a persimmon, I'll be a possum in a persimmon tree. And then he says, that really just dills my pickle. So those are super silly. Little section where he says, that really just dills my pickle. He's talking about something that is happening in his life. And this is like one of the flashback scenes that Mortimer wrote. I'm assuming that it's Mortimer that wrote these little interlude scenes. Like, I get it when it's like taken out of the context of the house, but in the house to say all these silly things, or, facing death and weirdness seems kind of silly. It takes me out of it for a second, but he's silly. It is 1:36, so I am under the gun to finish this by 3 o'clock if I want to watch the live show live, and I've got about 120 pages to go. I should be able to finish it in that time. It'll be cutting it close though, so wish me luck. So in situations like this, when there's a rich guy and a bunch of other people, they're all unlikable and you're rooting for them all to go down, or there's like one likable character that you're rooting for, or the one Mortimer, who is doing this to these people post-mortem, you're expecting him to be like on this high horse and be a good person while all these other people did him wrong or whatever. But in this, I'm finding that the people in here, I don't feel like most of them are that bad. I feel like Mortimer's the asshole, the rich asshole that, conned them all into getting involved in this, and they would probably have been better off in life without him. But we'll see where this goes. He seems like a real dick. I just also wanted to say that it does give me Charlie and the Chocolate Factory vibes, where you've got like the rich dude and there's supposed to be some prize at the end of all these shenanigans. So it made me think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know if that has been said as a comp or not, but some like evil Charlie and the Chocolate Factory vibes. And also it does kind of remind me of Ready or Not, the movie. I actually just watched that for the first time last weekend with my husband, because I don't really watch a ton of TV or movies, but we took the time and watched that together, and I really liked it. I thought it was fun and campy, and so it was reminding me of that a little bit, but I think Ready or Not does the fun and campy gothic mansion game better, and I'm not sure if this is going to give me the satisfying ending that I would want from a story like that. So, I mean, the big bad asshole dude Mortimer is already supposedly dead, I'm assuming it's supposed to be, so I don't know if it's going to give me an ending that I'm excited about. We'll see. It's all behind it, that kind of thing, but it's also like horror because, there's like horrific things, I guess, happening, but genre-wise, all right, I just got out of the shower. It's now Monday morning, and I wanted to update you on how to survive a horror story. I'm watching my mother's dog right now, and she's being obnoxious, so hush. So you could probably hear her. You want to come up? Here. Oh, no, she doesn't want to come up. She's running away from me now. Piper. Shh. You want to come up? Want to come say hi to the people? I don't know what she wants. Oh, you want your bone? Come here. Come say hi. right, so let's try this again. I've got Piper with me now. Let's see if she, you can't really see her. There she is. See if she behaves. She's not quite 2 yet, so she's still a puppy. Then I have my poor Ellie over there who's just like, Mommy, why don't you love me? I love you. I love you more than her, but she's a brat. All right, so I wanted to update you on How to Survive a Horror Story. I ended up giving this, I would say a low 3, high 2, 2.75. I loved the beginning. I thought the setup was fun and a little campy, which I like. And I thought that the house was really interesting. And I wanted more of that. I wanted more of the weird. I wanted either more camp or more in another direction. The way it came together didn't completely work for me, but I was entertained the whole time. So it is definitely worth a read, especially if you're interested in it already. Oh, I really liked Gia. I wanted to know more about her. I wanted to know more about the servants. I wanted to know more about the house. I wanted a POV from the house. I thought that was the house, and what was going on with Mortimer and his family was way more interesting than everything else. Like the games, I thought they were fun. The way with horror, thriller, hybrid, it's hard to put this in just one column. I would say it's definitely thriller adjacent with horror elements. The way the ending came together my God, Piper, stop. Did not work for me. And with thrillers, sometimes that's just the make or break of it all. But like I said, I was entertained the whole time. I do see her potential and I would definitely read from her again. I am very distracted by this dog. But anyway, I gave this a 2.75. I do think it's worth a try if you're interested. And yeah, that was my last book I needed to read for this week for all my book clubs. I did finish this in time to watch. So that was good. So just to Piper summarize what we did this week. These are the books I read this week. I wanted to read this for the Literally Dead book club, which I did, and I ended up giving it a high 3, low 4. I need to read this for my in-person book club, which I ended up not being able to go to because of mom stuff. But I ended up giving this a 5. I loved this. I thought it was super cute, super cozy, and you know, sometimes cozy can be hit or miss because sometimes I get bored, but I didn't get bored and I really liked it. And I liked the characters and I loved the plants and the kitty. And yeah, I thought this was really good. On audio, because when I needed an audiobook, so I read these two. This one summarized that I gave it a 3. I thought it was fine. I don't think it's as bad as people say, but I can understand why people were disappointed by it. I didn't really enjoy Funny Story all that much either. I thought it was okay. Like, I like her writing, but the story didn't work overall for me. So, you know, I guess I had lower expectations than some people because I like Emily Henry, but I'm not like a stan or anything. So yeah, I thought it was okay. I read Play Nice with Rachel Harrison, which I ended up giving a 4. I don't know how much I talked about this already. This is a haunted house adjacent book where a woman has to go back to the house that she grew up in, and her family doesn't want her to. Her mom passed away, they're estranged from her, and her 2 sisters were older, so they remember a lot more things that happened to them in childhood. And in their point of view, their mother was abusive and crazy, and she shouldn't go back to this house, even though it's theirs now, but she wants to fix it up and sell it. So she goes back, and of course some creepy things start happening, and she has to deal with it and figure out if this is all in her head or if there's really something going on. And there's this neighbor boy who's cute, and there's a little bit of a love story in there too. I liked this. I thought it was a good Rachel Harrison. I gave it 4 stars. My favorite is still I'm actually reading this for an in-person book club for October too, so I'll have to give it a reread, but maybe I'm wrong. But as of right now, my favorite Rachel Harrison is still Black Sheep, and I have, I think, read everything that she's published so far, even her short story collection, so this one is my favorite. But what can I say? It's just right up my alley. I love it. It smells so good. Anyway, I'm also working on an ALC of the Scald Crow, and I'm not quite done with it yet, but I will be finishing that up today. And I really am loving the Scald Crow. This has some, you know, a couple of similar themes to this, which I didn't realize going into it, where we have a woman whose mother is missing or has passed away. She's missing, presumed dead, and she is down on her luck, and she has a disability, a chronic pain disability, maybe endometriosis, we don't know, but something to do with pelvic floor pain. And she goes back to her mom's house. I think she calls her mom Mammy, I think. She goes back to this house that she grew up in, or at least make it livable so she can live in it. And because it's free and she doesn't have to pay rent, and she really can't afford to be doing this because she's on disability because of all her pain. And this book is about women and pain and not being believed, and people saying that it's all in their head, and the women in general feeling guilty and wondering if, is it all in their head? Is it really as bad as they think? Are they, what's true, what's real, what's not? Things start happening in this house, and she's not sure if it's in her head or to be believed, if she can believe what her brain is telling her, all stemming from the fact that her mom was abusive as she grew up. You know, she's having this chronic pain that people are telling her is in her head, that there's nothing wrong with her, that they've never seen such a perfect uterus, and this pain, there's no reason for it. She starts seeing things in the house which she's not sure if she can believe, and it goes from there. I am really loving it. I'm almost done with it. I think it's amazing. It's probably the best depiction of chronic pain that I've seen. I, thank God, have not had to deal with chronic pelvic floor pain. I had horrible cramps and periods when I was in high school, and I got on birth control, and really, knock on wood, have not had any issues. I am not looking forward to going through perimenopause and having to like deal with all that crap, because for me, I've been very lucky, but I do have people in my life who deal with chronic pain and invisible illness, and it's heartbreaking. They feel like people can't understand them, and then when people try to understand them and say like, this isn't your fault, this is what you're dealing with, then they feel guilty. They have guilt about that, like so many other people have it worse than them, blah, blah, blah. So I just think it's a great depiction of all that, and I'm not very eloquent in the way I'm speaking about it, but it is so good. And there's a cat on the cover, and I'm a little sad because it's called the Scald Crow, and that's from Irish folklore. This like war goddess thing with like 3 heads or something. Piper. I love crows. And the crow's not very nice in this book. There's a big bird following her around, and you know, she's not sure if it's driving her crazy or what. So, but she does get a cat. Spoiler alert. There's a cat on the cover, so. Anyways. Oh, and there's also themes of sexuality in this book. It's sapphic. She has a friend who's a lesbian, and she has these feelings for her that she doesn't know what to think about. And she's never had sex before with a man or a woman because of all this pelvic pain she's been dealing with since she was 11 years old and she got her cycle. So it's fascinating. I really like it. I already pre-ordered a physical copy. So there's that. Thank you to NetGalley and to Grace Daly for this book, because I really like it, and I think it's going to resonate with many people. Anyways, I think I'm going to end this vlog there. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video. It might have been a bit of a mess. I don't know. I'm still learning. I do appreciate every single like, every single comment. I know not that many people watching, so any love that I get, I truly appreciate it. I don't care if a lot of people find me or watch my videos, but if I can just get a handful of people that I can chat with about books, that's all I want in the end. So thank you. Bye. And this is what I'm dealing with this week. These two. Piper and her crying and her nonsense.